information session for March 2022. I'm Siana for the Community Grants.
And I'm Ali. Hi everyone, Kaya. I'm the Senior Arts Officer for the City of Fremantle. So we're just going to do an acknowledgement, which is the City of Fremantle acknowledges the Whadjuk people as the traditional owners of the Greater Fremantle Wayallup area, and we recognise that their cultural and heritage beliefs are still important today.
So just to give some background on why we fund grants, so it's a way to bring the community together and support projects that facilitates this goal. We adapt the grant guidelines to what is needed in the most at the community at the time. So for example, last year we were a bit more focused on the social recovery for COVID-19, and this year we still emphasize that, but we want to also facilitate all peoples being included in our activities.
We'll also just mention that neither of us are wearing face masks. It's because we are recording this from home, just so everyone knows that. And we hope you're all feeling well and happy with everything that's considered. If my cat may join this conversation as well. Okay, so some really key information for you to take away from this very short PowerPoint is first, and it's most importantly, it's really important to contact Siana or myself to talk through your project ideas. It's for us to double check eligibility, answer any questions you may have prior to submitting a grant application. It's also just a really good opportunity for us to connect with you, to hear your thoughts, hear your concerns, hear your really beautiful ideas, and we can absolutely provide feedback and save you time through this process as well. We really do enjoy the conversations, and if it's just a really newly formed idea, that's okay as well. We can maybe send you in the right direction or connect you perhaps to other people in the community that may have like-minded ideas. So to get in contact, please just email the grantfunding@fremantle.wa.gov.au email address, and we'll call you back and talk about the idea. And then if there is a need to meet face-to-face or meet further online, we can absolutely do that and kind of work out the best way that we can support you. Another really important information is the application process is now on a system called Smarty Grants. That's an online system. It was used for the very first time last year, and it went really well. It's a really user-friendly system, and so you'll have to get used to that system. If you are concerned about using digital technology, do let us know, and we could probably also connect you once again to someone that can help you through the process. But yeah, please be aware that it's all an online system, and it's the only way we can accept the application. Funding amounts are a little bit different for the categories, and we'll go through that on some separate slides. But art grants is up to $10,000 per application, and community grants are up to $5,000 per application. But remember, you don't have to ask for the full amount. It is very much about asking the amount that will help you achieve your project successfully and those important outcomes. Project timeframes we'll actually go through in more detail later in this presentation as well. So when you apply, we need a 6-week assessment period to turn it around, which is pretty quick in grant worlds. And then you must complete the project within 12 months. And then we also have a really key piece of information that we really encourage you to get to know well is the guidelines on our website. So I'm actually just going to show you where they are. So what you're looking at here is the City of Fremantle webpage, and the fact that you're listening to us means you probably have found this page, but we have just circled the Arts Grants and Community Grants section, and then we've just highlighted in this very sophisticated yellow text that there are some blue hyperlinks. So within there, you've got, if you click on that, you've got the very important guidelines, which really does talk about the the criteria, how we assess things, and give you some really important information, and also a link through to the Smarty Grants portal. So they're the two areas for you to look at. The other one, which I think is really useful, is the hyperlinks of previous recipients. So you can see there the rounds from September and March of the previous years. Go and have a look at the projects that we've funded. You know, you'll be inspiring to see what's done. We're so lucky to have such ambitious and talented people in the Fremantle community. So it'll give you some good ideas, and also give you an idea of, I guess, the quality of the projects that we fund.
So I just included this page because I just wanted to show you that it's basically a similar sort of formatting. So you see the Smarty Grants portal, there's community grant guidelines, and then obviously the email, which you can contact us and ask any questions. And the relevant downloads just has something a little bit different to the community grant guidelines. So it just gives some different information on there if you wanted to read further. Yeah.
Great.
Cool. So some of the key dates or the important dates. So it opens on the 1st of March. So it says 9 a.m. and then the applications close on the 31st of March. And please don't be late because we can't actually accept late applications, even if we wanted to. And the assessment period is approximately 6 weeks, and we'll send out an outcome notification prior to the 12th of May. And please, we do work against this timeline very closely, and then the notifications you'll receive by email.
Okay. So who can be funded is also a little bit different for the two categories of arts grants and community grants. So arts grants, we will accept applications from individuals if you have an ABN. And that we do this is because a lot of the artists who apply to this program are sole traders themselves, and they don't have to be in incorporated organisations. But we also do absolutely expect will accept applications from not-for-profit organisations as well.
And then for community grants, so it is an organisation or group that is legally constituted as an incorporated association or has an auspice, a secured auspice, a non-for-profit company or applicant that has obtained the appropriate level of public liability insurance for proposed project and or event. So I'll just quickly also run through the auspice information. So the auspice receives the grant funding and enters into relevant agreements for the auspice unincorporated group. Auspice organisation will need to be based in Fremantle and be a non-for-profit entity. A community organisation would best fit for community grants and must agree to act as an auspice. This means that they must have permission and commitment from auspice prior to submitting the application. The city does not manage the relationship between the auspicer and auspice, only the requirements of the grant and funding conditions.
That sounded kind of scary, but it's really important information.
Yeah, I thought I'd run through it a bit like that because we don't want to miss anything that's important.
Yeah, absolutely. So it is really good for first-time applicants or people that might just need a little bit of help with the administration side of a project. So that agreement is really good because the person that's auspicing the organisation really takes on the side of managing the money and making sure it's acquitted. So yeah, it's a really good option for people that might need that extra help.
Definitely.
So I've got a bad slide as well to talk about, the scary slide. So what won't be funded? I'm not going to go through this entire list, but please make sure you do look at this because it's really important to know if you're eligible or not. So key points to kind of refer to is we can't fund anything that's already happened. So no retrospective funding. We can't fund anything like equipment purchases or capital works, which I know is kind of what a lot of people really need. We also can't fund what else, kind of organisational expenditure like salaries or projects like recurrent funding projects that might have happened last year, and they actually have the same intention and outcomes happening again. So if you've got questions about this or concerns about this, just talk to us about it. Oh, this is me again. So art grant objectives. So, yeah, a really good way to work out which category you should go to, either art grants or community grants. A nice way to and simple way to look at it is arts grants. You need to have an artist involved in the project, and that the project really is benefiting those artists, and those artists are kind of really working at a really good professional level. So yeah, obviously Fremantle is a really proud creative city. We really value artists and creatives, and we absolutely acknowledge the role that you play in helping us be such an amazing city. There's some really beautiful visions for the city. It's a city that's clever, creative, inspiring, inclusive, one that welcomes and celebrates all peoples and cultures, a place that encourages innovation and prosperity, and is compassion. So I know that I've got a lot there, but I think what I've just said is really important, and that's in the guidelines, to really, when you're thinking about your project, is your project thinking in that way, that it is inclusive and that it is for everyone, and that it can just really make a difference to people. There are some very clear objectives as well, the 3 that are here on the slide. It is about developing and strengthening the arts and cultural sector. So once again, that is making sure there are artists involved. It is about activating place and engaging people. So when we mean by activation, that means that the project itself is happening in the Fremantle area, and that there is audience or people participating or benefiting from what you're doing. And yeah, then the 3rd objective is supporting artists and arts organisations to extend practice and kind of build capacity. So what that one really means is sometimes it's good to have a number of artists involved in a project, and maybe there's a lead artist mentoring an emerging artist, or that they're really thinking about, I guess, the artistic concept and building and growing their ideas. So there's 2 examples of what was funded just in the last round, actually, which I think really speak to, I guess, the ambition of the arts grants programs. So the first project is Photo Frio, which was a really successful, amazing event that ran between 2002 and 2012. So an internationally recognised event that really invigorated the photographic community in WA. I think anyone that used to go to it absolutely remembers Photo Frio. So we're so lucky that some people have banded together, led by Claire Martin, and is redesigning and bringing it back to life again. And that will be happening in May and June of this year. It's going to be involving multiple artists in multiple venues across Fremantle, hosting artist talks, panel discussions, and projection evenings and workshops. So make sure you check that one out soon. And another really nice example in a different art form is the last round supported Undercurrent Theatre, who's a kind of emerging theatre company working on a new creative development called Common Ground. So they were in residence at the Fremantle Arts Centre in November last year. A cast of really interesting theatre makers who really are exploring what it means to them living and working on Wajak Noongar Budja. So they'll be showing, when you do a creative development, that's when artists get together and really it's about creating a new work. So they'll be doing a showing of what they've come up with in March of this year. So you can see there the project timelines and the grant information, just to give you an idea. But yeah, lots of amazing ideas out there. So keep chatting to us about it. All right, Sienna.
I'll just go through the community grant objectives. So we have 3 main points, and then I'll go into some key points later. But the first one is to deliver inclusive responses to meet the needs of isolated groups, including but not limited to services to vulnerable people who are directly affected by mental health, homelessness, and family domestic violence. So those seem quite heavy, but I guess the point of it is to bring everyone together and then support, I guess, the undercurrent, but not focusing on that. And the second one is to enable and encourage active participation in the community. So that's kind of what I just talked about, bringing everyone together and then supporting a need. 3 is to seek to align with key strategic priority areas as outlined in the city's focus action plan. So this is first, access and inclusion, which I think both of us are kind of focusing on this year as well, is to give the active participation of everyone, not just an isolated group. Second is Whale Up Reconciliation Plan, and 3 is age friendly. And then some of the key points is to ensure that the budget is detailed, because we can fund in part of the amount that you want. It might not be the full amount, but we can support some projects, and so at least then things can go ahead. And then budget reminder is also to capture in-kind support and resources and other funding contributions. So it's not just solely relying on us. You can actually go out to other vendors and I guess figure out if their needs align with yours, and then you can kind of fund a project that way as well. Yeah.
Great.
Cool. And just to give some examples as well. So the first one I put down was by the Fremantle Wesley Mission, and they created a program called the Wesley Link. So it's basically the Wesley Link is a drop-in centre with a commercial kitchen, and what we did is that we funded their provision of food supplies and some of their running costs. So then we helped them maintain their little gathering that they have already existing. And so this was from the October 2021 to September 2022. So that was how long it ran for. And then we gave them $2,000, which is the up to 5,000. We gave them 2,000. And then the Miralinga Youth Children's Service, so it was basically a yarning circle, which has been used by Aboriginal people for thousands of years. And so it allowed people to come together in a safe place and discuss, I guess, their feelings and their thoughts. And then they also had a Aboriginal crease worker, which helped to take care of the kids as well, which is awesome. So this was from April to December in 2021, and the grant amount was $3,000. Yeah.
Great. And just going back to that point around, someone working out if it's an arts or a community grant, sometimes you might, even after listening to that, you might well, I still don't know, because some arts projects absolutely can, work in a community development space. So the best thing is just to reach out. Sienna and I, we're already kind of sending clients to each other, and,
exactly.
and kind of really aware of all these beautiful ideas that are starting to form. This is your one, Sienna. You're nearly there.
The application process.
Yeah.
So first is to contact the city's grant officer, which is one of us, to discuss the potential project and application. I think, and we're pretty hands-on with that, I would say, because we want everyone to, carry out their project in the way that they want to, but it obviously has to meet our eligibility and criteria. So we're happy to kind of collaborate with you on that point. And the second is to complete the grant application form online via the City Smart Grants portal, which is what we just showed you before. And please ensure all questions are answered with as much detail as possible, because this also allows us to kind of break down what you've put down, and then we can possibly fund certain things instead of not going with the project at all. So please put it in detail. You can save this and always come back to it. 3 is to submit your application. So you'll receive an email of receipt. All notifications will be via email, and any technical issues, you can just contact Smarty Grants, because that portal doesn't really have anything to do with us. Yeah.
Excellent. This is our second last slide, everyone. So thanks for sticking with us. This is just a snapshot of what the Smarty Grants portal actually looks like, so people can start to become familiar with it. So to the left-hand slide of the left hand of this slide is actually showing you, when you type in Smarty Grants or you click on the link on our website, it brings you through to here. You can see that there's current rounds at the moment. So on the 1st of March, up will pop the Arts and Community Grants link, so you can click into there. When you do click into it, it then takes you to a page which you're looking at on the right here, which gives you really important information, but you can what you can do is preview the form or download the application form, so you can really start to see what the questions are and how it all looks. And as Sienna said before, when you start a submission, you can save it and come back to it when you need, so you can start to build it slowly. We do recommend you do it as soon as you can. Don't leave it till the very last day, because that never works well for anybody. And it's also really useful because then if you do start doing multiple applications to us, it saves your previous applications. And if you are successful, that's where you do your acquittal, which is the report at the end. Great. All right, a nice fun slide at the end. So yeah, we just wanted to say thank you for watching and good luck. And yeah, please get in contact with us.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys.
See you.